Sorry, is this alright?
Leading the team in his second year as team leader, Red 1, is Scunny the John Bond, known as Bundy. As said, it's his second year as team leader. He's been team in the Red Arrows for 5 years. He's the former cyclist on the Hawk Team Masters. This is my 4th and final year out of the Red Arrows Red 10. And of course, we are commanded by Officer Commanding Rafa, Red 11, Wing Commander Adam Collins, former Tornado GR4 pilot, former Aggressor pilot of the Hawk. The team now moves into our widest formation with red 4, 6 and 7 in the net of the Swan. You hear those commands from Red 1, they're almost the top of the monotone after the 8 and 9 move inwards, 6 just behind Red 2 and 3 to form a shape of one of the most majestic and iconic aircraft ever to fly in aviation history. From the left, the smoke comes on in the Concorde. To the left of that centre, just close to it is Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Rob Thomas. Rob is in his first year on the team. He was uniquely taken from training that made his instructor on board before there is Apollo. Join the Red Arrows as a pilot, you must have at least 1,000 to 1,500 passenger hours. Bit hard to see at the distance, but those aircraft flying with the air brake out. A small door at the bottom of the aircraft towards the rear. Down the line.
A little bit right. No.
Red 6 and 8 to our left hand side, red 7 and 9 to our right hand side. Red 8 and 9 go up and down the roller coasters, and red 6 and 7 stay flat. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been an honour and a pleasure, but please put your hands together for the 2025 Royal Air Force Aerobatic team. It's the Red Arrows!
With a stunning performance, roll rates exceeding 420 degrees per second, and speeds varying from 260 miles an hour, well, pretty much to backwards, and she just holds it in the sky. Letting the aircraft tumble through the sky, and lots going on in the cockpit during the course of these displays. The sticks and rudders pulling on the body, just preparing herself. You may have heard that little bit of fuel going up in the distance there before she actually ran in. And the smoke really just enabling you to keep up with the rapid manoeuvres that she performs. Not just about speed, but it's the momentum of ensuring that you have enough forward power to go into the vertical manoeuvres. Both dual French and British nationality. Studied mainly during her time living with a family in Monaco. Once again, using a little bit of extra energy there to climb up into other vertical manoeuvres. Carving the sky with the smoke. All environmentally friendly smoke. This, by the way, is a sort of baby oil. Referred to as some names Mondina. There, another ice-fitting manoeuvre coming out inverted, pushing against herself. tumbling off the top, holding it on, the propeller going slightly gyroscopic there before allowing the aircraft to tumble through in a downward spiral. Look at that performance, just hanging on the propeller, almost, oh gosh, that is a hover, isn't it? Fantastic performance. And just nudging it slightly there, just sliding across, or tipping it over on its back. Into a couple of flick rolls, and building up the momentum all over again. Oh, I love that little noddy there, just holding it in the hover, nodding it from side to side. Whole package of funny names attached to the aerobatic world, lards and Lomchevacs. This one just literally climbed to 0 speed, hanging on the propeller, letting the propeller gyroscopic take over the movement of the flight, once again tipping it over on its back. Very economic and amongst the most successful garage or home-built aircraft in the world. Really, really outstanding machines. You'll see another variant of these aircraft later in the show, which is the Raven. These aircraft were actually acquired from the predecessor team, John and Andy. Themselves now flying a whole world of different orbits. They're fixed pitch propellers, which means they can't alter the pitch of those. They have a standard pitch throughout. And you'll see, we'll drop into the cockpit at the moment, the nature of this elegant display. And of course, there's something very, very satisfying about display. Because whilst the leader calls all the cadences, all the maneuvers, absolutely essential for the wingman to concentrate on all of those and replicate every single bit of pilot input. Tandem seat configuration with dual controls for the rear seats, a very, very versatile speed range too, with around about 200 miles an hour. Cruising around Europe at a very leisurely and conservative speed, around 160 miles an hour. They make a really good touring aircraft with room for a bit of luggage as well. Same time though, as you can see from some of these maneuvers, they are built to be aerobatic as well, built to plus 6G or minus 3, Boeing 757. And now a captain on the 747. Still flying air cadets with 2 air experience flights, so well over 40 years. Break coming up now.
Thank you.
Time to do a bit of opposition passes. Two, one from the front line, one from the historic part of the Royal Navy. It was the Royal Navy historic flight. They raised their funds through the flight, so they're in charitable trust. But of course now more colloquially known as Navy Wings, a brand name for the entire historic representation of the fleet era. Alongside that, a helicopter, it's a Wildcat, right at the sharp end from A25 Naval Air Squadron. Both aircraft were based at Royal Naval Air Station in Yeovilton, the Taranto formation. Around 70 years of aviation development between these aircraft, the Swordfish going back to the mid-30s when it was absolutely the greatest technology of its time, being able to carry a tornado, torpedo, and here we are, today's derivative with one of the Black Cat helicopters, the Wildcat, also made down here in the Leonardo factory, carrying a huge range of modern sensors. So multi-purpose, multi-role aircraft in many respects, taken into Royal Navy service in 1936. Of course, by the start of the World War in 1939, technology had moved on very, very fast indeed, and the Swordfish was regarded as a pretty obstinate machine. But a large number were still in service, and I can assure you they were stuck with this big airframe, a 1,600-pound torpedo, a variety of depth charges, bombs, mines, rockets and flares. So how did it survive, you ask? Well, the interesting thing is, despite only flying around about 90 knots and probably even slower with a torpedo underneath, it actually was harder to engage a slow aircraft than a fast aircraft. And the enemy Navy gunners found it very much more modern aircraft. The Augusta Western 159 Wildcat, a combat helicopter from a new generation, packed with all sorts of cutting-edge sensors and mission equipment. Coming in right in front of you, and then breaking into a 360 wing over. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Royal Navy Black Cat. So why is it called Black Cat? Well, some of you here, yes, may well already know that, but of course it refers not just to the linked Wildcat, which is features on the 702 Naval Air Squadron badge, but also a bit of Navy slang. It's all about Black Cat, which is getting one over on your mate, or doing something with somebody else. Flying, base, and training all Wildcat pilots and observers, looking after also, of course, all the aircraft that are deployed on the Royal Navy vehicles all across the world. Coming up into a high hover now. Displaying how much residual power you've got available in this machine, and giving it a good nose over there, big wind control on maritime ocean. So unlike RF squadrons that generally work as a unit, the most squadrons in the Navy, as well as having an impressive range of radar sensors, is also able to carry different types of missiles, delivering different effects on the ground or on the vessel they're attacking. Marshals, a laser-guided rocket system, guided missiles. Potent system. Tom, who's active today, entry pilot, and was streamed to fly the Wildcat, which is flies on many occasions to the Middle East, playing a very large role in maritime security and counter-narcotics operations, and has been trained in maritime counter-terrorism and interdiction. Spent 2 years with the government's maritime terrorist incident cell. Coming into the hover now to show you the dexterity not only of this helicopter, but of course of the pilot who are trained to repositioning it while it's going round. It can be tricky sometimes if you've got a strong wind. climb all the way to 5,000 feet per minute. Rarely done, but all that available to you. Another little nose over here. There's a difference between perhaps other 6.5 a Griffin engine, one of the 79 built at Superbane in Southampton, on high altitude. The most outstanding success story perhaps of many airframes. Over 20,000 of these served in 22 different variants. And that distinctive shape just always just tugging away at the heartstrings. That's an emotive, but iconic feature of British aviation life. The aircraft, the Mark 1, barely running at half the power, half the fighting firepower of the latter marks towards 1944 and 45. This aircraft capable of reaching speeds close to 450 miles an hour, flying up to 42,000 feet. The pressurized cockpit was armed towards that very difficulty. The centrifuges are all about photographic reconnaissance. These aircraft did feature in Operation Crossbow and involved testing the V1 and V2 Vengeance weapons.
Big thank you to those colleagues this season on the team. They are Royal Air Force and everything from Runway 25 and Babcock International, provided much of the merchandise for the aircraft standards. If you've got some good shots, make sure you just send them to our social media or tag us in the hashtag Future Display. We've got Instagram, Facebook and Twitter accounts. We'd love to see your shots and may even reuse them with your permission. Bob is now bringing the tutor around to his departing awaiting pass again at just 100 feet. It's a final photo opportunity and be sure to give him a big wave. A big thank you to Wales Airshow for hosting us today here in Swansea. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 2025 Royal Air Force tutor display.
When you need
Well,
a
thanks very much, Seth. That's pretty good to hear from you again. I've got to say, that is my preferred colour. It's a lovely Royal Flying Corps First World War airfield up near Cirencester in Gloucestershire. It's Dave and Kirsten and Brian and Emma here today. Here we go. Yes, they're diving down now. All at the same time, these girls hanging on to those wriggles. And they go up and down, all of them get to their heads. Literally with 5 stars in front, maybe passing up there, sleeping the barns overnight, just taking people for a ride as well. Real romance, but of course actually what they do in those days was pretty dangerous as well, and many of them came across them. But there was one guy, named as Locklear, and he worked, would you believe, with an extraordinary lady, his surname says it all, because her name was dead. And here are the daring girls now replicating much the same thing, upside down on their wings, and defying the sheer weight and pressure of the wind, and of course the diesel that they have. Now that fantastic 5 engines, their 9-cylinder radials, packing out about a 450 horsepower, and that little roar, that and that's the voice of Dave Farrell there, commanding as do the girls as well. Now they have slightly different backgrounds. Of course, there's a huge amount of professional aviation experience in both the cockpits. The girls on top, they come for the next girl to come on and take a place up on the wing. Very entertaining. Vic, who owns and runs the team, has got 5 of these aircraft. And it is something you can do, as you heard me chatting about with Jay. If you want to have a go at this, or you want to raise some money for charity, just go online to aerobatics.com and book yourself a trial flight. Just get a team together to raise some money. Super Day. What a great sight to stand trimming out the aircraft and then getting out of the cockpit and walking on with to try and fix it. It's a true story, absolutely true story. So he then thought, well, this is a good idea for earning a bit of cash or a bit of doing it, I hasten to add in a much mistake. Lovely sight. So you see the girls waving at you. Here they are in one of their just literally found one of those points now. Hanging on to their straps. They've always got a little safety harness. Demonstrated here with you can see the darker cockpits of the 2 Gazelle helicopters on the outside. We're calling this Raven Combine. I haven't seen this at all, and it is a unique presentation just for the... Here we are, the break coming up. Here we go. 2025 Gazelle Squadron display. I'm telling you that the only civilian helicopter close formation display team in the UK. You normally see 4 of these iconic machines, but due to their popularity and the demands of maintenance today, presenting just a pairs routine, which hopefully takes you back to the days that some of you will remember of the Royal Navy Sharks and the Army Air Corps Eagles. Certainly I remember both of those. Got a unique tail, and this was the first helicopter to feature the distinguished jumping tail fan, known as the Fenestron. And those of you who know the French will recognise that stands for window. Very close to it, window being fenêtre. And they're not doing that, they're often found doing various celebrity and VIP clients, such as Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, the various charitable activities. None of which is possible without the generosity of the owners Falcon Aviation. Immaculately presenting always and in better condition now than they probably were when serving in their role with the services. Super little helicopter to handle, has a reputation for being both powerful and responsive, and considered to be a true pilot's aircraft, christening it, many of them, as the E-type Jaguar of the skies. Others, more disparagingly, would call it the screaming chicken. very well-known point throughout the British Championship. It's always got that distinctive whine, and that's caused by the compressor intake system right at the front of the engine. Two aircraft being flown today, leading an ex-ETPS test pilot school aircraft, an H2T2. Original registration of X-ray Zulu 939, used by the test pilot school at Washington. Here's the pilot flying the aircraft, the test pilot learnt on the 30 brake. The aim being, as he pulls up here, keep them all in the same position for the delta at the side. At this stage, putting up, turning into a roll. That really impressive. And you can see how tricky it is to maintain the exact position in such an individual. Massive passion, a massive number of hours as well on 70 different types of aircraft. Enjoying the latest fleet airline, initially flying Seaking, but then being reselected to fly fast jets, including the Sea Harrier, one of the most demanding aircraft in the military inventory. See them flying through as it brings the 5 ship from left to right. Stand by now.
Now, 677 brakes go, 45 brakes go.
And there you see that's Sid calling the brakes. Beautiful formation shot. He pulls them right over the top. And there we go. That's moving out because it's an upward. The aircraft has been tweaked and refined, much improved over the last 40 years. Sales across the globe, making it one of the most popular aircraft in the market. Represents the latest generation of the Ultra 300 series. All carbon fiber frame, state of the art avionics, providing all three levels of type comfort for aircraft. The aerobatic aircraft are pretty bare and not necessarily uncomfortable, but just not built for comfortable touring. So it's a comfortable aerobatic aircraft. Level of aerobatic performance, great maneuverability, more precise handling, so it's also completely fun. It's what you need. horsepower. The aircraft built with that 11 plus or minus 10 Gs. Pretty extreme. Another outstanding roll rate, 400 degrees a second. Cruise speed up around 200 knots. Maximum speed is up at around 220.
I got that. You were I know. You're like me. I get it worse.
And there's the brake.
Don't write it down, you don't remember. No, exactly. The trouble with you is you write it down, you remember. I know, I got it sassy. No, it's my fault.
Versioning an awful lot of G. So coming on now, and they pull apart their own version of art. Literally back top, you check that out, and let's
Malfunction, I'd be
get that rectified in the next minute or so. But of course, safety is important. Here he is, he's still happy to check out the display area. Rolling it. The bottom side of this aircraft, in the occasional quiet moments, you'll see all the hard points underneath. Massive number of them, that's for all the various missiles. Here going up into a very looks so clean and efficient when you see it. Back there because we had a speed limit around you. They have just been little lady there will come out and look at the pressure of starting desk. But right now he's pulled the speed right back, and this is what is so extraordinary about this machine. We're coming back to around about, which would be about 120 knots. That's from a speed, a potential speed of 1.5 times the speed of sound. And here it's got the stick back, You can't pull it any further because the computer will override it and keep it at 7 sides. But just look how ghostly this is. The machine is still going past 700 miles an hour at the moment. Very high alpha, as we say in the business, and that is the angle at which the wing hits the air. It's almost very right out of coming in this year, I know this